Have you ever felt like you were living a life that wasn't truly yours? I certainly did. My name is Olivia, and my story began in an orphanage. I didn't know my biological parents until the Miller family came into my life. They had lost their biological daughter, Chloe, when she was just 7 years old. And I bore a resemblance to Chloe, so they adopted me. Life at the Millers wasn't bad. Mrs. Miller loved me unconditionally, and Ethan, though a bit distant at first, never said a harsh word. I had a family, a normal, happy life. But then, one fateful day, that door opened, and Chloe returned. She stood there in the opulent living room of the Miller mansion, eyes red, lips pressed so tight they turned white. She looked at me as if I were her sworn enemy. And I understood. She had endured things I couldn't even imagine. Living off wild roots, raising livestock, suffering beatings, and she even said, in winter, no one would have known if I'd simply died. Chloe was kidnapped at 7, and now, at 20, she was back, her heart overflowing with bitter resentment. She truly believed I had stolen the life that rightfully belonged to her. Never gave up looking, you say? What about me then? Would it have been better if I had just died? After all, you already had a new daughter. She screamed, pointing directly at me, her eyes blazing with fury. I just let out a quiet sigh, a profound sense of helplessness washing over me. I knew I had to leave. I quietly packed my things, bowing my head to thank my adoptive parents and Ethan. But then Chloe's voice, laced with pure hatred, cut through the air behind me like a sharp blade. "You're just a discarded orphan, someone nobody wanted." A surge of anger flared within me. I owed her nothing. I retorted coldly. She lunged, wild, but I simply pushed her gently, and she tumbled to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably, screaming, "Mom and Dad don't want me anymore. Nobody loves me." My adoptive parents and Ethan rushed to comfort Chloe, their faces etched with pain. Ethan looked at me, his voice cold. "Olivia, what are you doing? Pack your bags and leave. I'll have someone send you a sum of money." And so, I left. I walked out of that mansion without looking back. I didn't know where I was going or what awaited me. But then, one phone call changed everything. A call from Mr. Peterson, the butler of the Richardson family, my biological parents. He said, "Miss, are you finally coming home?" Only a few hours later, a motorcade of luxury cars appeared. Over a dozen Bentleys lined up, their imposing presence so striking that even the security guards at the gate quickly pulled out their phones to snap pictures. Mr. Peterson, though over 70, exuded a sharp intellect, dressed impeccably with the demeanor of a successful CEO. He even said, "Time was short, so I could only find this many cars. It truly doesn't do justice to your status, miss." I could only manage a wry smile. The convoy took me to an estate in the city's outskirts. In a major metropolis like this, land is incredibly expensive. Even with money, it's not guaranteed you can buy such a property. Yet my biological father had simply waved his hand and arranged this place for me long ago. Mr. Peterson's eyes welled up as he said, "Miss, you don't understand. Nothing is more important than you. We've waited for you for far too long. When you were little, I held you in my arms. All of these years, I've longed for this day." He handed me the most powerful elite black card in the financial system, with a limit of billions of dollars, keys to 7 luxury cars, and an honorary gold card from the city's largest financial group. I was stunned. Was this truly the life of a young heiress? While I was gradually getting used to my new life, Daisy, my college roommate, kept me updated on Chloe's situation. "Olivia, your stepsister is such a manipulative piece of work. She's the group chat's darling now. All the guys are praising how sweet she is, constantly handing out cash gifts, thousands of dollars at a time." I just chuckled faintly. I knew all of it. But then, Chloe started targeting the things that mattered to me. She inquired about my interests and even asked Daisy if I liked Liam. Liam Richardson, the famous singer, my idol. She even planned to treat the entire group of female fans in our class to his concert. I felt incredibly uncomfortable. My own idol? She wanted to steal him too? I coldly told Daisy, "She's treating everyone to Liam's concert? Fine, count me in. I want to go too." One evening, Mr. Peterson mysteriously pulled me out onto the balcony. Pointed towards a red sports car. A man in a hat and sunglasses stood there, exuding charisma. "That's your brother. He's also an adopted member of the Richardson family." I raised my eyebrow. "Adopted?" Mr. Peterson quickly explained that he was the son of my maternal grandfather's old comrade in arms, entrusted to them before his passing. But then he said something that completely stunned me. "Your real name is Olivia Richardson. Your brother's name is Liam Richardson, and he's a singer." My eyes widened, utterly disbelieving what I was hearing. Liam Richardson, my idol, was my biological brother? He was the man standing down there. He had come, but he didn't know how to face me. I smiled. "Of course I accept him. I'm not Chloe. Besides, Liam is my idol. Tell him not to overthink it and just to focus on preparing for next month's concert." On Monday morning, my phone rang. It was Ethan's number, but Chloe's voice came through. "Sister Olivia, have you left yet? Do you remember the way home? I'm waiting for you at the mansion." Her tone was soft but held an undertone of cunning expectation. It was her birthday today, the day she would officially declare herself the Miller family's daughter and publicly humiliate me in front of all our friends. I arrived at the Miller mansion in a sleek Lamborghini. The entire party fell silent as I stepped out of the car. My adoptive parents and Chloe were visibly stunned. Chloe tried to maintain her composure, but the smile had vanished from her lips. Daisy, my best friend, rushed out of the crowd, excitedly touching the Lamborghini. "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! Let me take a picture with the car." A wealthy girl from our classmate group approached, beaming. "Olivia, you're here! Oh my gosh, this dress is incredible. It's all custom made, right? Must be hundreds of thousands of dollars at least." Everyone gradually realized that not only did the Lamborghini attract attention, but my entire outfit was incredibly striking, like a true A-list celebrity. Chloe tried to pull me into the mansion, pointing to a wall covered in Liam Richardson posters. "Sister Olivia, look, I've covered the living room with Liam's posters. You like him the most, don't you? Next month, I'm going to his concert, and I'll get an autograph for you." I casually replied, "No need. Liam's autograph? I can get tons of them now. I'm not interested anymore." Chloe's face darkened. Her plan had failed. She stood next to me, her thin, small frame and expensive dress looking utterly ordinary next to my presence. This was the power of wealth. I didn't need to say anything. Simply standing there, radiating an aura of royalty from head to toe, was enough to completely overshadow Chloe. She forced a fake smile, pretending to praise me. "Sister Olivia, you're truly cool. So unique." She stopped showing off the posters and turned to my adoptive parents, asking, "Mom, Dad, where's Ethan? He said he'd buy me a gift. Why hasn't he been back yet?" My adoptive father looked outside, a hint of worry in his eyes. "He should be back by now. Perhaps he's stuck in traffic." Chloe smiled, then looked at me. "Oh, right, Sister Olivia, when you first came to our house, Ethan gave you a gift. Remember what it was?" I frowned, sensing another one of her tricks. "It seems like it was in my room for too long, so I forgot." In reality, I genuinely couldn't remember. It was a gift from when I was very young. "You forgot?" Chloe suddenly pulled out an old, discolored and bent silver bracelet, holding it up. "Is it this one?" I looked closely. It was indeed the old bracelet Ethan had given me. Back then, he wasn't happy about my adoption, but my adoptive parents forced him to accept me and buy me a gift. He grudgingly went to a jewelry store, bought the cheapest silver bracelet, and tossed it to me. "Where did you find it?" I frowned. "I thought it was lost ages ago." "I found it under your bed while cleaning your room."
Chloe said with a bright smile. Then she turned to the people around us, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. Our sister Olivia is so pathetic. Our brother was so thoughtless, giving her such a cheap gift. If I recall correctly, it wasn't even $300, right? I raised an eyebrow. Good. Digging up old stories to embarrass me? How childish. Even if I wasn't Ethan's biological sister, just an adopted orphan, receiving a cheap silver bracelet wasn't strange at all. At this point, a female student piped up. Well, she's just an orphan from an orphanage anyway. A silver bracelet is already pretty good for her. Then she looked away as if she had completed her mission. There was no doubt. Chloe definitely bribed her. Finally, someone was openly humiliating me. I thought Olivia was a billionaire's daughter, another female student sneered. Turns out, she's just a discarded orphan. No wonder she could become student council president. I wonder if she bought that position too. The moment her words finished, the atmosphere in the room turned eerily silent. Everyone felt the tension, but no one dared speak. Chloe, however, pretended to be magnanimous, stopping everyone. All right, stop talking. Even if she's an adopted orphan, in my heart, she's still my biological sister. Just as she finished speaking, Ethan returned. His car almost hit the back of my Lamborghini. Chloe's face lit up, but she didn't forget to glance at me with a smug look. Then, like a haughty princess, she rushed out to receive her gift. It had to be an extravagant, expensive gift, at least several $100,000. After all, today was her day. She was the star. Everyone watched, curious what the gift would be. But when Ethan got out of his car and rushed into the courtyard, his hands were empty. Chloe immediately frowned, scanning the car. Ethan, where's your gift? Chloe, you play with your friends for now. I have to take Dad to the company for something important. We might be late. He then pulled my adoptive father, Mr. Miller, intending to leave immediately. The crowd looked confused. Chloe's face changed instantly, barely suppressing her anger. You didn't buy me a gift? The vice president needs to see me about something very important. I have to take Dad to the company right away. This is a huge deal. I'll make it up to you later. He then pulled Mr. Miller away. Mr. Miller frowned, asking hastily, "What's going on?" "Get in the car, Dad. I'll explain. It's a trade secret." Mr. Miller still hesitated, looking from Ethan to Chloe, but I had already guessed. Clearly, Mr. Peterson's people had contacted Ethan to discuss the collaboration. After all, it was a multi-million-dollar deal. I smiled gently, feigning thoughtfulness. "Dad, you go with him. Company matters are more important. Today, I'll stay here to celebrate Chloe's birthday." My adoptive father still looked a bit regretful, but ultimately apologized to Chloe before leaving. After my adoptive father left, Chloe stood alone in the courtyard, her face ashen, her body trembling with suppressed rage, looking like a cornered wild wolf. With my adoptive father and Ethan gone, the birthday party was completely deflated. Mrs. Miller tried to force a smile, comforting Chloe and discreetly reminding everyone to enjoy themselves, not to let the atmosphere become awkward. But I could see she was very uncomfortable. How could she not understand Chloe's feelings? Chloe not only failed to humiliate me, but ended up humiliating herself. The conflict between us would only intensify.
I took the initiative to liven up the atmosphere, pulling Daisy along to get things going. The party finally proceeded smoothly. However, as it drew to a close, I noticed Chloe had disappeared. Mrs. Miller found me, her eyes red-rimmed, unable to utter a word. I gently patted her shoulder, reassuring her, "It's okay. I don't mind." She choked out an apology and quietly went upstairs. After the party, I returned to the estate. Daisy insisted on coming along, but I didn't agree. I let her experience the thrill ride in a sports car to satisfy her need for speed, then sent her home. Back at the estate, Mr. Peterson was waiting. Seeing me, he shared the good news. Everything's almost done. We've signed the contract with Ethan. His company will make at least $20 million this year. $20 million was a huge sum for the Miller family, and I felt happy for them. Mr. Peterson suddenly remembered something. "Oh, right, miss. We haven't told Ethan about your true identity yet. It's better if you tell him directly when the master and madam return and we host a party." I nodded slightly. At that moment, I, the heiress of the Richardson family, would sit and chat with my biological parents and brother, raising a toast with powerful figures from across the industry. This would undoubtedly bring them many benefits. After seeing Mr. Peterson off, I felt tired and went upstairs to take a bath and go to sleep. But just as I lay down, my phone rang. It was Chloe, still using Ethan's number. She still refused to save my number herself. I answered, and on the other end was a mocking laugh. "Olivia, you must be very happy today, right? You think you won, don't you? I'm just a clown in your eyes, right?" "Yes," I answered directly. Chloe laughed loudly, her laughter echoing through the phone as if she was venting all her frustrations. "Do you know why my dad and brother had to rush back to the company? $20 million. My dad and brother just signed a huge contract. This year, the company will make at least $20 million. Chloe was ecstatic, her voice frantic with excitement. "So what?" I said with a slight smirk. "You're really dense. You still don't get it? Our family's total assets combined have never even reached $1 billion. And now we can make $20 million? My brother says this is a leap in class." Chloe's excitement seemed to pass through the phone. "Do you know what gift my brother plans to give me to make up for it? He said once the first payment hits the account, he'll buy me a supercar. Buy, not rent." Hearing this, I understood why she was so thrilled. Finally, Chloe would have a bit of the demeanor of a wealthy young lady. "Congratulations," I said faintly. Chloe suddenly fell silent, no longer laughing. She was waiting for me to be jealous, to be upset. But I didn't care. "Olivia, it seems you don't understand what a class change is." She stressed each word. "Of course not, because my dad and brother never told you. There's one more thing I want to tell you. The company that signed the contract with us is Richardson Financial Group. My brother said that the Richardsons are a super rich family, so rich you can't even imagine." Chloe's tone was full of arrogance, as if she were the Richardson heiress. Inwardly, I actually thanked her for the compliment. Chloe continued to gloat. "This time, not only did we sign a contract with Richardson Financial, but we also got invited to the Richardson heiress's upcoming gala. They'll send us invitations. Do you understand now? This is a class change. We can access the most powerful aristocratic families, the most elite figures." I couldn't help but chuckle. "You didn't study much, yet you know so much." "I don't need to understand. As long as my dad and brother understand, that's enough." Chloe's voice was full of confidence. "This time, when I go to the Richardson Gala, I'll see if I can snag a big fish." She laughed triumphantly. How ridiculous! Originally, all of this should have belonged to me. If I hadn't returned, the one invited would have been me. She wanted me to be angry, but I only found it amusing. I indifferently replied, "Congratulations." Not getting the reaction she wanted, she paused, her smile slowly fading. She was waiting for me to get angry, but I wasn't bothered. "Olivia, it seems you don't understand what a class change is." She stressed each word. "Of course not, because my dad and brother never told you. There's one more thing I want to tell you. There are quite a few legendary figures in the business world, estimated to be over 100 people attending. Many of them I've seen on TV. Oh my gosh, this scale is truly too grand. I have to prepare thoroughly. I can't afford to lose face." Thinking this, I immediately found my biological mother and told her I wanted to learn etiquette, from walking to dining. Everything had to be perfect. My mother burst into laughter, gently patting my head. "You've watched too many dramas, dear. You don't need to be so strict. Just relax and be natural. In high society, everyone knows each other. No one pays attention to those things." I thought about it, and she was right. If I was too stiff, wouldn't people just laugh? After all, I was the Richardson family's grand heiress. I could just follow my instincts. The evening gala was organized faster than I expected. The efficiency of high society was truly remarkable. In just 5 days, everything was ready. Influential figures from all over the country flew in quickly. I heard many even chartered private jets. The estate became more bustling than ever. Prominent individuals were everywhere. Some chatted happily in the flower garden, some sat in gazebos enjoying the view.
Others clinked glasses and conversed inside the mansion. You could even accidentally run into a veteran business magnate from New York City just by going to the restroom. As dusk fell, the gala officially began. Guests gradually entered the grand hall of the estate and took their seats. My mother pulled me along to greet everyone so I could get used to the atmosphere and avoid feeling nervous. And I really was a bit nervous. After all, I had to go on stage with my parents later, so getting acquainted first was a good idea. The Richardson heiress truly has a divine beauty. How did she end up wandering among mortals for so many years? An old gentleman remarked, making everyone laugh cheerfully. I modestly replied to the compliment, but a beautiful woman standing beside me chuckled. Miss Richardson is so beautiful. Surely there will be a long line of suitors breaking down her door. Another chimes in. Yes, everyone look, all the young men here are secretly admiring Miss Richardson. I couldn't deny it. Indeed, quite a few eyes were following me. And these young men were not ordinary. They were all from the wealthiest families in the country or outstanding elites in various fields. Normally, how would I ever get to meet them? Being noticed like this, I suddenly felt a little shy. I made an excuse to go to the restroom, sighing a relief.
But right after, I heard excited cheers outside. Oh my gosh, isn't that Liam Richardson? It really is him. He's the Richardson family's young master. The girls at the party buzzed endlessly. Notably, these girls weren't ordinary people. They rarely admired celebrities. But Liam wasn't just a popular singer and actor. He was also the Richardson family's young master. Curious, I stepped out to look. A few high society young ladies had surrounded Liam, but he moved quickly, avoiding them all. I chuckled to myself. True to my idol's form, his demeanor was as cool as ever. Seeing this, I decided to follow him. Today, it was time to officially greet him. It seemed Liam didn't know how to face me, so I would take the initiative. I quickly followed him to the grand hall entrance where Mr. Peterson and the other butlers were standing, greeting guests. There was still a few late arrivals. Liam checked his watch, then scanned the surroundings, probably confirming if all the guests had arrived. I was about to approach when I suddenly saw Chloe. She was dressed lavishly, her long white gown almost sweeping the floor, escorted by my adoptive parents and Ethan. My adoptive parents and Ethan looked tense. Even their posture had unconsciously become more reserved. Chloe held her head high, walking with immense pride, her face radiating excitement and anticipation, looking exactly like a strutting peacock trying to attract a mate. Of course, judging by her appearance, this peacock was quite pretty, though a bit thin, still with the cute, innocent look. Unfortunately, this was a party hosted by the Richardson heiress, bringing together prestigious young ladies from across the country. Amidst a garden of precious flowers, Chloe was like a wildflower, only able to become a faint shadow amidst countless noble beauties. My adoptive parents and Ethan entered and were immediately greeted by Liam. He smiled gently, his demeanor friendly and approachable. My adoptive parents and Ethan were so nervous they kept nodding and bowing in return, while Chloe gasped in astonishment. "You're Liam Richardson?" Liam calmly nodded. "Yes, I am Liam Richardson." Chloe froze, her face flushed with surprise. My adoptive parents and Ethan also couldn't hide their astonishment, quickly shaking his hand, their attitudes instantly becoming much friendlier. Chloe took another step forward, her eyes sparkling with eagerness, and grabbed Liam's hand, looking at him with adoring eyes. Such audacity! I silently admired her boldness. But Liam frowned, quickly pulling his hand back. "Please come inside. Someone will show you to your seats. I need to go out and see if there are any other guests who haven't arrived." With that, he turned and left the grand hall. Chloe looked after him with regret, but her heart was still pounding with excitement. She then followed my adoptive parents and Ethan inside, and that's when she ran into me. I didn't shy away because I had to greet my adoptive parents and Ethan anyway. The moment Chloe saw me, she froze, her voice filled with disbelief. "How are you here?" Her expression was like she'd seen a ghost, full of suspicion. This attitude truly was too disrespectful, making those around us frown and look over. My adoptive parents quickly apologized, pulling Chloe closer. She glared at me, and before I could even speak, she speculated.
I know. You borrowed my family's name to get in here, didn't you? Did you tell Liam Richardson you're also part of the Miller family? Shameless. She gritted her teeth. That was exactly the only reason she could come up with. I looked directly at her, my voice cold. I am the Richardson heiress. The moment I said that, Chloe burst out laughing as if she'd heard the funniest joke of her life. My adopted parents and Ethan also stared at each other, utterly disbelieving. I smiled gently. Mom, Dad, Ethan, allow me to guide you all to your seats. The invitations clearly state everyone's location. Chloe suddenly realized something and immediately sneered. So you're here to be a server? She appraised me from head to toe, then added mockingly, You're dressed so simply, working as a server suits you. It was true that I hadn't changed into my formal gown. I was wearing a simple outfit, but it was worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Unfortunately, Chloe's eye for quality was terrible. I calmly said, Chloe, I don't want to argue with you. Shut up. Tonight is very important for Mom, Dad, and Ethan. If I weren't helping, they wouldn't truly be able to step into high society. My words made Chloe scoff. You're the one who should shut up. You came here to serve so you could get close to Liam Richardson? How ridiculous. A young master like Liam would only associate with someone like me. You can only wash dishes. Her arrogance was deeply ingrained. Just then, Mr. Peterson came to find me. I knew it was time for me to change. I glanced at Chloe, then calmly instructed him. Please show them to their seats. With that, I turned and left, ignoring Chloe's stunned expression. I reminded Mr. Peterson, they are my family. Don't let anything go wrong. Mr. Peterson nutted immediately and quickly left. Behind me, Chloe's scornful voice still echoed, but I didn't bother to care. I went into my private changing room where over a dozen attendants were already waiting. My mother was there too, happily calling out, Olivia, come here and get dressed. You'll be on stage with Mom and Dad in a moment. I quickly changed, had my makeup done, hairstyled in an elegant updo, and jewelry put on. In just a moment, I was completely transformed, looking even more radiant than any filtered photo. My mother smiled contentedly, taking my hand and praising me without reservation. My daughter is so beautiful. Even Liam complimented you, and he's very picky. I raised an eyebrow. He met me? My mother sighed softly. He met you, but he didn't know how to face you. That silly boy always overthinks things, always afraid you're still mad at him. I laughed, shaking my head. He's handsome and he sings well too. All right, later I'll give him a compliment. My mother immediately gave me a playful, knowing look. Stepping out of the changing room, I saw my father waiting. He wore a simple suit, but still exuded the aura of a powerful man. I greeted him, then looked towards the stage. At this moment, Mr. Peterson stood at the front of the elegant hall, delivering the welcoming speech. Thank you all for taking your valuable time to attend this evening's gala. Immediately after, he solemnly introduced, Please welcome Mr. and Mrs. Richardson, along with the young master and young lady of the Richardson family, to the stage. I saw Liam quickly approaching, his eyes sweeping over me for a second before he immediately regained his composure and focused.
My parents, Liam, and I slowly walked onto the stage. Below, hundreds of eyes watched, all belonging to influential figures from across the country. If my parents and Liam weren't by my side, I would surely have trembled. But even so, I still felt a little nervous, my smile a bit forced. Suddenly, Liam gently took my hand. He didn't look at me, just held my hand tightly as if to reassure me, and together we stepped into the spotlight. A sense of relief washed over me, and the smile on my face slowly became more natural. My father took the microphone, solemnly expressing his gratitude to everyone. The entire hall fell silent, listening intently. I looked down at the audience and immediately spotted my adoptive parents and Ethan sitting in the front row. Beside them was Chloe, who seemed to have turned to stone the moment she saw me walk onto the stage. She was utterly frozen, eyes wide, completely unable to believe what she was seeing. My adoptive parents and Ethan were also stunned, their eyes fixed on me, their faces filled with disbelief, seemingly still unable to accept this reality.
Chloe remained dazed for a few seconds, then frantically rubbed her eyes, her face twitching, her lips trembling as she tried to say something, but no words came out. I guess she was muttering, "No way, no way." She still hadn't given up hope until my father solemnly introduced, "This is my beloved daughter, Olivia Richardson. After so many years apart, she has finally come home." My father's eyes reddened as he spoke. Though overjoyed, he couldn't control his emotions. Thunderous applause erupted below the stage. My adoptive parents and Ethan instinctively applauded, but their eyes were still filled with confusion. At this moment, my father looked toward them and solemnly said, "I also want to extend my special thanks to some friends here. They are my daughter's adoptive parents and adoptive brother." As he spoke, he nodded to them respectfully. This action immediately sent a ripple through the entire hall. With my father's reputation and status, just a single word of recognition was enough to allow my adoptive parents to step into high society. From now on, they would no longer be anonymous. They would be remembered by the elite. I felt happy inside. My father truly cared about my feelings and secretly helped me achieve what I wanted to do. My adoptive parents and Ethan joyfully stood up, overwhelmed, continuously bowing in thanks. My adoptive parents bowed to everyone around them, their eyes filled with gratitude and emotion. Chloe was completely frozen. Her last hope had shattered. There was nothing left for her to cling to. The truth was plain to see. I was the Richardson family heiress. No way, absolutely no way. Chloe suddenly stood up, then screamed hysterically, pointing directly at me. The entire hall was stunned. Everyone turned to look, bewildered. My parents' faces immediately darkened, and Liam also frowned, gently gesturing to the attendants behind him. My adoptive parents and Ethan fearfully embraced Chloe, but she still struggled, screaming as if possessed, her eyes only filled with resentment and despair. Her mind had completely broken down. I personally left the stage with my parents and Ethan to take her outside. Finally, after screaming in her madness, Chloe suddenly fainted from sheer rage. Ethan, distraught, carried her out of the hall. Meanwhile, on stage, Liam quickly diffused the atmosphere, telling a humorous story to calm things down, then skillfully transitioned to the main part of the gala. I left with my adoptive parents and Ethan, finding the space much quieter now. "Olivia, Mom and Dad are so sorry. We embarrassed you," my adoptive parents said apologetically, their voices trembling. They even tried to kneel to apologize. Ethan also bowed, his voice a bit strained. "Miss Richardson, I am truly sorry." He hesitated, then lowered his voice. The $20 million contract, that was also because of you, wasn't it? Thank you." I gently shook my head, looking at Chloe. Even unconscious, she was still gritting her teeth, her face filled with hatred. I turned to my adoptive parents and said, "Take her to the hospital. Please hire the best therapist to treat her. From now on, I won't appear in front of her again." I paused for a moment, then continued, "I'll be moving to my biological parents' house. I won't stay at this estate anymore." In reality, this estate was only temporarily purchased from me by my biological parents. But now that I had officially returned to the Richardson family, I naturally had to live there. My adoptive parents' eyes reddened, tears silently falling. Ethan's eyes also reddened, trying to control his emotions. "Don't cry. It's not like we're saying goodbye forever." I smiled to reassure them. "I'll visit you secretly whenever I have time." With that, I stepped forward and hugged them tightly. All three of them nodded gently, no one saying anything, but I knew that from now on, everything had changed. We parted ways there. Half a month later, I was riding my horse on the estate in the capital when Mr. Peterson rushed over, calling, "Miss, the Young Masters concert starts at 7 p.m. tonight. Would you like to go?" Liam's concert was about to take place right here in the capital. Chloe definitely wouldn't be able to go. "Can I bring friends?" I asked as I dismounted my horse. An attendant immediately led the horse away. "Of course, you can bring as many as you like." Hearing this, I immediately called Daisy. Now, Daisy had a stable job with a good salary, working one day and having 3 off, spending all day in the office watching movies, hardly doing anything. The moment she answered, Daisy excitedly screamed, "Olivia, I'm seriously amazing. Just now, my manager praised me for doing good work and I don't even know what I did." I chuckled. "Of course you're good. After all, you're the one personally placed into elite financial group by the Richardson Heiress as a mascot. What's there to be so proud of?" I continued, "You once collected a list of Liam's female fans in our class, right? Get ready. Tonight we're going to his concert. My treat." "Wait," Daisy suddenly remembered. "Where's Chloe? Why isn't she inviting us anymore? She was supposed to arrange this today." I didn't answer, just smiled faintly. Chloe was still in the hospital. Her condition was gradually stabilizing. Perhaps she would return to normal someday. "Forget about her now. Go call your fan group. We have to go see Liam perform." By 7 p.m., our group was in the best seats at the concert, less than a half a meter from the stage, close enough to shake Liam's hand. Daisy and the rest of our friends were amazed, asking me how I managed to get them to such a spot. Tickets for this area had been scalped for over $30,000. I didn't explain, just stood there waiting for Liam to appear. For the past half-month, he had been busy, deliberately avoiding me. I had no choice but to come here to catch him. Very quickly, the stage lights converged and Liam stepped out. The entire hall erupted in frenzied cheers. Countless female fans were on the verge of fainting. Daisy was practically screaming her throat raw. Standing amidst the crowd, I quietly looked towards Liam. He immediately saw me, pausing for a split second, but quickly regained his composure and immersed himself in the performance. The opening song was Little Sister, a song he had composed himself. Its lyrics told a story with a touch of tenderness and a bit of doting, like a gentle breeze on a summer evening. Of course, quite a few people felt the song carried a slight hint of ambiguity and emotional resonance, whether it was the warmth of family affection or the flutter of love. That would depend on how Liam wanted to interpret it. We just had to applaud. After all, Liam truly sings beautifully. He thanked everyone for listening.